Aromatic and spicy, chicken biryani is the ultimate, satisfying, all-in-one flavor explosion. As always, remember you can scroll down for the full recipe and detailed directions. The component parts of biryani are layers of basmati rice and chicken with some added details. Anything worth eating starts with onions. I'm also using ginger and garlic, along with salt and spices, cayenne, turmeric, coriander, and garam masala. This recipe calls for tomatoes, and I'll need a lemon later on too. I'll first use half of one onion to thinly and evenly slice so I can brown it and set it aside. Over medium heat, in about 4 tablespoons of olive oil, I'll slowly saute these onions until they reach the perfect brown color. Once I have achieved the perfect doneness, I throw in whole cumin seeds and wake them up over the heat for a few seconds. Now I'll start on the base for the chicken. I'm going to finely chop the rest of the onion and add it to a big, heavy-bottomed pot along with 1/4 to 1/3 of a cup of olive oil. I'm going to saute this over medium-high heat. While that gets started, I'll peel and finely chop 8 cloves of garlic and about 1 inch of this fresh ginger. Once the onions that are the base for the chicken have started to lightly brown, it's time to throw in the garlic and ginger and the spices and salt I showed you earlier, along with these whole spices: cinnamon stick, whole black pepper, some brown cardamom, and this green cardamom. That stays on medium heat while I start chopping the tomatoes. I'm using roma, but use what you have on hand. The tomatoes go in, and everything keeps cooking. After about 4 or 5 minutes, I added 2 pounds of boneless, skinless thighs that I cut into smaller pieces. Adding the chicken cools everything down, so I turned up the heat to get it going. Then I covered it and turned the heat down to low. For the amount of chicken I'm cooking, 2 cups of rice turned out to be just right. The rice of choice here is basmati, which is a fragrant and long-grained rice. Step 1 is to wash the rice, and this is not up for debate. I rinsed it with lots of water 3 or 4 times until it's clear, like this. Avoiding overcooked or mushy rice requires the right proportion of water to rice. I add enough water so that the level of the water is about half my finger digit above the level of the rice. One last thing I'm going to prep is the lemon, and I just want a few thin slices. I've been stirring occasionally, and this chicken has been simmering for about 40 or 45 minutes. It's nice and reduced, and of course the chicken is very tender. Once the rice is done, I'm ready to layer everything together. I have kind of a shallow dish, so I'm just going to do 2 layers. Every family has a different recipe, but the way I learned it is to start with a drizzle of yogurt. I'm sprinkling on some of the browned onion and laying down some lemon slices. Finally, I'll dollop on half of the chicken, and the first layer is done. In consideration of whoever will eat this later, you should probably pull out the whole spices as you find them. Their work is already done. Once I've added the remaining chicken and topped it off with the rest of the browned onion, I'll cover it tightly with foil and whack it in a 300 oven for 20 or so minutes. This is such a great all-in-one dish that you don't really need anything else. That said, my favorite accompaniments to biryani include green chili peppers, some raita made with yogurt, maybe some cilantro and fresh cucumber on the side. I hope you enjoyed this recipe. If you give it a try, leave a comment below. Remember to like and subscribe, and see you next time.